Sophie this episode because she is ill. Why are you laughing?
I don't know.
It's okay, let it out.
I think it's because of how awful I feel. I'm just
It's
laughing
hilarious.
it off.
Yeah.
Laughing it out.
She's been ill, but you know what? She is pulling through for everybody. And that's all that matters.
Yes, I sound really quite rough.
She does, but it's okay. She's going to pull through because she is a soldier. All right. Well, I did put a message in the chat for people to drop their questions if they have any, because
that'd be fab.
Today's episode it's a hefty one. It is about giving ourselves permission to do whatever we want and to do what we actually want, which is a big question to tackle. So that's what we're doing today. And as always, let me just find it. Why can't I? Oh, there it is. As always, welcome to the Power of Potential podcast. This is the place where me, Bree, and Sophie help you to mold your mindset to manifest success through open and honest conversations about real life experiences. Oh my god, we should make a jingle.
Yeah, let's give that a go.
I'm down. I can connect myself with some music producers. Let's do it.
Okay, so what came up for us? It was, how do you identify that something isn't for you? And
Yes.
we want to kind of link this to manifesting success.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so how do we identify that something isn't for us?
Yeah, that's a tricky question, and the reason why we're sort of framing it as giving yourself permission, because it's hard to know what is and isn't for you in the first place if you can't even give yourself permission to acknowledge what you actually want and use that as the benchmark for whether something is for you or something isn't for you. And I've struggled with this, and I'm pretty sure Sophie's also struggled with like not knowing or not giving ourselves permission to actually go after what we want, so we stay doing and following things that aren't actually for us.
Yeah. And yeah, you're right. I've definitely had experience with this. And we were saying earlier, weren't we, that sometimes our self-worth comes into this.
Mm-hmm.
And our self-trust and belief, I suppose, as well, because if we don't have a high, kind of worthiness about us, or if we don't believe or trust in ourselves to make these decisions, we're not going to trust ourselves to know whether it feels right for us or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I've definitely experienced this in my early 20s when I was training to be a teacher. And, this was like a dream for me. I ever since I was younger and at school, I wanted to be a teacher. And when that just wasn't working out for me, it just didn't. It was a really hard, tough time for me. And the way I realised that this just wasn't for me was, firstly, physically. I would feel exhausted. My heart wasn't in it, so I wasn't very organised. It felt like a drag. It felt hard. It felt draining on my energy. But still, because it was like a dream of mine, I continued to push myself until I became quite ill. And I may have mentioned this before, like on other episodes, but that kind of led me down a path of anxiety, really low mood. I was never diagnosed with depression, but it felt like a depression, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I still didn't trust myself. I still didn't say, do you know what? Maybe this isn't for you. I was still seeking, although I kind of knew deep down, I still sought the opinions of others before I finally made the decision
Mm-hmm.
to stop doing that because it was making me ill. um, so yeah, that's one way we can identify that something doesn't feel right for us. If our energy just isn't in it, if it's not lighting us up, or if the end result isn't lighting us up. But realistically, when something feels right, when something is your sole purpose, you it lights you up. You feel lighter. You feel excited
Mm-hmm.
about this. You know that I believe that's how we know that's our sole purpose, when we feel quite giddy about it.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
It's okay, she's got a cough, which is fine because I actually have a similar experience to share, which was my university experience. I mean, my opinions about secondary education or post-secondary education is irrelevant in this conversation, but I went to school for English. I was kind of like dead set on being a writer. It was my only plan. I'm a very extreme person, so I don't like to make backup plans because I'm just that confident in myself. um, so I went, and it was just not at all what I expected or what I wanted anymore. So it was kind of just a tough moment when you like something that you really thought was meant to be or meant for you doesn't work out. And like Sophie's experience, for me, the reason I knew that it wasn't for me was because I was so unhappy, but also like I was just so low energy every day. Like it wasn't like diagnosed depression, but like all the signs and symptoms were there. I was sleeping all the time. Like I had no, like I didn't want to go out. I didn't really want to socialize with people. I skipped a lot of classes. I like completely gave up on everything, which wasn't really like me to do. Like I would skip assignments or hand in things half done and like just not care at all because like it just wasn't right. Like it wasn't really fueling me. It wasn't making me happy. So that's when I like decided to drop out and then figure things out. And then I obviously found like new passions after that. And then those kind of changed into other passions. Um, but I'm also a very feelings based person. I go based off of how it makes me feel. And something that I'm learning though as well is identifying between what actually feels good versus what I think will feel good, because there's a difference. And an example of this is I I don't want to always use my past business as an example. So maybe I'll just use a different example of when I went to college. So I after this writing career, I decided I was going to take time off, and I did. And I sort of like fell in love with fashion and stuff like that. And I was kind of debating between doing styling or being a buyer because I had pretty good math skills and I wanted to travel. So for me, that kind of worked out because buyers get to travel around, they get to go look at pretty things and buy them. I was like, sign me up. Um, so I went to school and stuff, but after school, like, and all the experiences of my life and just learning more about myself, I realized that getting another job, even if it would, entail getting to shop pretty much as your job, it was still a job. I would still be, someone else would still be in charge of how I spend my time. And I knew that that was something that I didn't want. Like when I thought about my future, when I thought about success and how that looked for me, it didn't look like somebody else telling me how to spend my days. It didn't look like somebody else telling me how much I deserve to make. And so I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to try and figure out how to do things on my own then, because there's no sense in entertaining a path that I already know I don't actually want, even though like it does have the perks of like, more security or more benefits or, the things that come along with like a corporate job. Those didn't really contribute to my overall idea for success for myself, which is something that Sophie and I also wanted to bring up, was when it comes to discerning what's for you and what's not for you and giving yourself permission for that, first like allow yourself to envision what your actual best life looks like and how you want your success to be defined, because some people could define it as making $1 million or getting to travel around a lot. Like for me, my definition is freedom of time, freedom of finances, and like doing what I love. That's it. So,
and I think,
yeah,
and being able to do that is key. And I have found not everybody knows what they want. And again, bringing it back to the worthiness of what you feel you're worthy of. So I know that a lot of people end up in jobs because it's what other people deem as successful. And they end up feeling really unfulfilled because it's not what fills them up. But somewhere along the line, in order to know what we want and in order to know how we want to feel, we have to have some kind of esteem, some kind of worthiness about us that makes it feel like we deserve to have what we want. And that is like, I would say that is like a first step. So if you take a step back and think, right, what do I want? How do I want to live? How do I want to see myself? How do I know this is for me? You must bring it back to you. It's so important, because if you are pouring all your time and energy into something that is really to make someone else feel, or for someone else to think, oh, great, they're doing really well. And now I'm going to bring it back to maybe parents, for example. A lot of us, a lot of people strive to impress their parents or peers. And if you are solely doing that for somebody else, you're going to feel unfulfilled. You're going to lack energy. And I want to bring it back to what you said, Brie, about how you had really low energy and low effort. And that's exactly how I felt when I was doing my teacher training. I literally felt like I had no energy for this. And it was so disappointing and absolutely heartbreaking, because this was like my life, this is what I wanted to be. Luckily, it led to a complete breakdown, which led me down the hypnotherapy route.
luckily it worked out that way.
Yeah. But we can't manifest success with low energy. Doesn't work, because manifesting requires having high vibrations. And when I talk, yeah.
I just wanted to differentiate something though when you say low energy, because
go on then.
Low energy in terms of just like low vibration, not in terms of like if you're having an off day, it doesn't mean you're not going to manifest anything. It just is like your actual state of being. If you have a low state of being,
well done you for picking that up.
I was like, I just need to clarify, because you can manifest if you have a low energy day, but if you're sitting in a lot of low energy for an extended period of time, then that's just your state of being, and that's an issue.
Yeah. If you have low energy towards the thing that you're working towards or whatever you're doing right now, the chances are you're not going to manifest success. You are not going to
Like, you're not going
manifest
to find what you're really
fulfillment.
looking for. Yeah.
No. And that's where we need to be clear on how we want to feel, because manifesting requires us to match. Manifesting is matching a certain vibration.
Or a certain
We are all
emotion.
energy. Yeah, we are all energy. Everything is energy. Even our emotions are energy. Emotion is energy in motion.
In motion, yes.
Yeah. And
So,
if
yeah.
in order to manifest success, in order to bring the things in that we really, really want, we need to feel good about what we're doing. You know, we need to be able to resonate with our why. We need to be able to connect with why we're doing this and why it makes us feel good and
yeah,
you know, how it's going to make us feel then, because you're matching a certain vibration.
Yes, and I wanted to give like some constructive advice here on that, because I learned this strategy, I guess, not really a strategy, but just a good way to check in with yourself when it does come to manifesting what you want. Comes from my mentor, Paige Kane. She's great. But she will ask herself, how much do I believe this? So if you're like, I want 10,000 a month, for example, how much do you believe that you can have that on a scale of 1 to 10? If it's like less than like a 9 and a 10, then there's clearly something getting in the way. So then you have to look at all the limiting beliefs and the patterns and the traumas that have conditioned you and trained you to question and to not believe that you can have that, which connects back to like my own personal mission. And what I do with my clients is identify those shadows and those limiting beliefs and retarget, rework with them so that they can get what they want. Because it's not a question of whether you're worthy of it or not. It's a question of if you believe that you are worthy of it.
Exactly.
And that's my rant.
And yeah, and those limiting beliefs all reside in your subconscious mind. And for those of you who don't realize, we are our mind, our psyche is made up of the conscious and the subconscious. So the subconscious is the part of the mind that has been, it's like your computer hard drive. It literally remembers everything, absolutely every single little thing from the day you were born and up to the age of 7 is when we will have made most of our, we will have contained most of our beliefs. So any kind of limiting beliefs that you have will have been created in your childhood, no doubt about it. You know,
and you can still create more, right? And it depends on like if you're holding on to it. If something happens to you, like for me, for example, I'm going to use a personal example. I never used to really have blocks with money. I used to be very like, I know my self-worth, I'm going to get paid, like I have no problem. And I don't like, I'm good with spending as well. Like I was very smart with how I would spend and I would make sure I had my savings, and like I still do, but there was a series of events where things felt out of control for me. Things felt like I had made a mistake when it came to the way I was spending my money, or the way I was receiving money. I didn't feel that I was worthy of what I was asking, or just that it was just a very lack-based mindset that I suddenly had switched into because I felt a certain way and because I had held on to those a lot because it was a mistake and I don't like to make mistakes. So when I make a mistake, I make sure I remember it so I never make it again. But the problem with that is it became a limiting belief after. So, and this was like recently. So it's not like a lot of it is like the deepest roots come from childhood, but you can still also develop new ones. And that's why it's important to be aware of ourselves and the things that are happening and to always process things instead of just trying to shove them down or shove them away because they're speaking to us for a reason.
So if you, for any listeners that might be feeling or might be, thinking, well, I'm not achieving what I want, or I'm not quite sure whether this thing is for me. First of all, like Brie just said, getting down to noticing or acknowledging any kind of limiting beliefs is really important. In fact, to be successful, to manifest success, you must be aware. You must be aware of your beliefs, because if you're not, you're just going to carry on. You're just going to carry on the same. And there are many ways that you can become aware of your limiting beliefs. One is working with a therapist or a coach. Two, using tarot guidance, oracle guidance. We love, we love the tarot and the oracle guidance. That's something that Brie and I are really invested in, and it's helped us both a lot, hasn't it? That kind of spiritual guidance.
Definitely.
But yeah, you must become aware of those limiting beliefs, because if not, you will continue to do the same thing. And if nothing changes, nothing changes.
That is facts.
we carry on. And
yeah, and like also another thing too when it comes to making changes is you don't have to pull a complete 180 in one day. Like it takes small steps to get where you want to be. And the way there is to just take that one step and then another step and then another step. And I saw this TikTok today that was a really good analogy that was saying it was kind of about like how to form habits and how to reframe thought patterns and stuff, which was to say like if all your thoughts are a marble, if you just roll one marble, that marble is making a path. So then the next time you roll a marble, it's easier for that marble to roll. The next one, it's easier to roll. And then all of a sudden, they're all just rolling. And it's all because you took that one step to make the path in the first place.
Yeah, it's carving a new way forward. Mm-hmm. It's unblocking, your limiting beliefs are blocks to your success. And the more success you call into your life, the more, however that looks for you, success doesn't have to be money. Although we seem to pin a lot of that onto that because it's tangible, isn't it? Money is tangible, so we can see whether...
And you can do a lot with it that will make you happy. Yeah.
And money is awesome. Money is awesome. There are a lot of old beliefs about money. And do you know what? That's another thing. We need to do a whole different episode.
Yeah, I agree.
About having a healthy money mindset. Yes. Which is something I am working on for myself at the moment, because you cannot call in money into your life without working on your mindset first, without looking at your blocks. We all have them, no matter what that looks like, because we all have a different story. Mm-hmm. My story was there isn't enough. That's what I've been told ever since I was younger. There's not enough, and that wasn't true, because there was enough. I always had a roof over my head. I was always fed. I was always clothed nicely, it was...
what's funny is my, sorry to cut you off, but...
No, it's fine.
My biggest block was kind of about how more money is more problems.
Yeah.
More money comes with more responsibility. When you have more to lose. Uh-huh. So that was a really big block for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just felt like I need to add that in before I forgot.
Yeah, when we talk about blocks, that means we subconsciously sabotage ourselves. We subconsciously stop ourselves from, you know, bringing in the money that we want. I know this has gone down the money path, but maybe that's where it needed to go, because I know a lot of people are seeking financial abundance. A lot of people are seeking financial security, and yeah, why wouldn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Why would we not? You know,
Yeah,
there's
and I
this.
think a shift that I'm slowly making in regards to money is acknowledging its impact as an energy as
Mm,
opposed to a physical material existence, because
yeah,
what I'm noticing is that a lot of people who earn a lot of money, they have mastered the law of give and take and the law of just like the vibration part of it. So like
the
if you
attraction.
are putting out an energy that is very abundant, happy, joyful, creative, then that is matching where money's energy is.
Uh-huh.
And when you are open to collaborating with people, when you're open to seeking out different avenues, like there's money everywhere if you just go where you want to go,
Mm.
if
And
that's making sense.
people who earn a lot of money have not done that by themselves. They have
Yeah.
had help. You must
Mhm.
invest. You must invest in yourself if you want to change the way you're earning.
Mhm. And
You'll
there's different
find.
ways to invest in yourself, sorry. Um, which is like if you don't have a lot of capital to begin with, right, to invest, that's fine. When we're saying like to invest in yourself, that's in all areas. So not just investing in something financially, but investing in knowledge, investing in experience, investing in um
Mindset.
yeah, just doing
Massively.
something that's going to change and help you to become closer to that version of yourself that
Hmm.
does have all the money and all the things that you want.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
To wrap this, were you going to say something?
I was going to say, I'd really like to make our next episode about money mindset, because I think it's something that many of us want to know. We all want to know how to make more money,
Yeah.
right?
And I feel like honestly, not to get all woo woo, but the energy of the world right now is definitely shifting out of a capitalist mindset. And
Yeah.
so I think we should definitely talk about that because there's more than one way to make money. And there is money that you can make that is not necessarily abundant in a
Mm,
sense.
yeah.
Um, so
And
yeah, I
it
think we
doesn't
should definitely do
have
that.
to be doing something that you don't want to do, like there's this thing about
Mhm.
you need
Because
to work
you're cutting
so.
off your flow when you do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, imagine how much more you could have if you were actually happy. A lot. You could have a lot more. Sophie's just choking and coughing over there. But I wanted to, like, actually do somewhat of an exercise to close this off to hopefully show you how to actually listen to yourself. And I'm gonna do it the way that I usually do it, and most people do it, and the way that I've been taught to do it. So let's try that. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna sit here and we're gonna close our eyes and we're gonna take 3 breaths, 3 deep breaths, like into your belly and all the way out. Okay. Sometimes all we need is just a breath to come back to ourselves and to center ourselves and to quiet the mind. Okay, now, hopefully you're in a calmer state. And you're going to think about something that you really want. Okay, let's think about something that we really want. I don't know, Sophie, do you want to share? Do you want to be the leader so people can like, or no?
You want me to tell everybody what I want?
Yeah, what do you want? What do you really, really want? In the wise
Okay.
words of the Spice Girls.
I've been thinking about this today. So I am manifesting at the moment my membership, my new membership that will be launching next month. I am manifesting or calling in a circle of women who all want to feel empowered and motivated and want to work on themselves and their anxiety. I am manifesting calling those women in now because I want them to know the things that I know. I want them to find the balance that I find. And yeah, that's what I'm manifesting. And I'm manifesting that in a way how I feel. So I know that when I have that, when I'm calling those women in, I'm going to feel excited. Like I can literally feel it. And that's what you need to do. You need to cultivate that feeling. So I feel excited and I feel empowered and I feel connected.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Do you have a specific number in mind of how many you want to call in?
I would like to call in 20 at least.
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you believe that you can call in these 20 people? And be honest. Yeah.
Honestly, right now, it's a 6.
Okay. So where like in your body do you feel that you're not like at a 10 basically? Where do you feel the resistance to being fully confident in it?
It's in my stomach. It's in my solar plexus.
It is.
That's where it is.
Okay. So let's try something else. If you were to give this resistance, if you were to give it like a shape or a color or a feeling, like, or a behavior, what would it look like?
It's like, I'm really visual, so I can see this. It's like a sweat. It's a bit like squiggly black lines, you know, that are like
Yeah.
moving.
So it's kind of like chaotic a little bit.
Yeah, like a little ball of chaos.
Okay. Okay. So you want 20. You feel like you're at a 6. You feel it in your stomach. And it's a squiggly, like, type of energy. Okay.
Yes.
So if that was to speak to you, what would it say to you in regards to calling in these 20 people?
So the part of me, I'm going into parts. This is the part. It's saying that it won't be good enough. And that's a running theme for me.
I've had the exact same conclusions.
Yeah. I won't be good enough to do that. And that's what that part is saying. This feels really vulnerable, by the way, because I feel really vulnerable.
I kind of just threw you into that. I'm sorry.
I know. No, it's fine because actually it's usually me doing this to other people and it took me by surprise, but I'm glad that you've done it.
Okay, good. And then, I mean, we're not going to get into this for Sophie right now, but the next step from this point would be to, one, identify the moments in your life that made you believe that. And then 2, create some affirmations or do a meditation or something where you're combating that. So, for example, if she's feeling like, I'm not good enough to call in 20 people, okay, let's say her affirmation to combat that is like, well, one thing that she can actually do is to look at her client testimonials and look at the impact that she makes and look at the conversations that she has with people and sit in that energy of love and worthiness and ability to actually do the things that she wants to do and that she already does. So that's kind of my little session there to highlight how to do that.
Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. I've worked with Sophie, you guys, by the way. She's great. So
and do you know it's very similar to what I do with my clients. That's very similar to the parts work that I do. So these parts, so the part of me that says I'm not good enough, it's not to hurt me. It always has a positive intention. Mm-hmm. So whatever there's that inner critic, because this is that part, whatever that inner critic is saying to you, whether that's you'll fail or you're not good enough for that, or you're not liked, or whatever that's saying, there's always a positive intention, and it's always to help keep you safe in some kind of way. And what's really important is to kind of have a word with that part of you, identify it like you just did, Brie, and just say, do you know what, instead of that might have worked at one point, but right now it's not working for me. This is actually holding me back. This is making me feel, unworthy. It's making me feel like this, and we want to change that. So that's how I would work on that. And do you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this tonight. I've been doing a lot of parts work on myself.
Same.
But yeah, I'm going to give it a new positive intention, a new positive kind of job.
Yeah, maybe even like highlight all the benefits of these women coming in. If I can have 20 women, then I'm changing 20 lives, or I'm impacting 20 people, or I'm spreading my mission more. And it's like, highlighting all the good things.
Yeah, absolutely. Love that.
What a great way to end off. That was fun.
A great way.
That was also like my first time actually trying to lead something like that. So that was interesting.
I was so proud of you. Honestly, that just really took me by surprise, and I loved it so much. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm so excited. You guys, if anyone's listening right now, I'm trying to do a beta round of stuff like this. So send me a message and you can be one of the first and get like the best deal ever. And we're going to change your freaking life.
Get some mindset coaching.
Because I can do it. That's what I am telling myself. If I can do it for myself, I can do it for anybody, because I am like the most difficult person that I know. So Sophie's dying. She loves it so much, she's dying. Also, if you tried that with us, like post about it or send us a message or something, tag us something, leave a comment so we know.
Yeah, let us know.
Because that would be great to see its impact, for sure.
Yes.
What a great way to end it off. All right.
It is. Yeah. Fabulous. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we will catch you soon.
We will catch you next week to talk about money, mindset.
Yeah, let's talk about the money.
Money, 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 Mr. Krabs. All right, well, see you next week, everybody.
See you next